Hello, any early birds logged in right now? Testing. Hello, Jared. Hi, Sishan. Hello, Chun Hong. Wonderful. Hello, Jin Xian. I see you. Right, great. As you all know, those of you who are logged on, there is an important announcement that's going to be made at 4 p.m. today. Those of you who don't yet know, our Prime Minister, Mr. Lee, will be addressing the nation at 4 p.m. All right. So I'm going to make this live stream slightly shorter because I don't want to miss that very important announcement. I've heard some rumblings about what it could be about, so I just want to make sure for myself. So our aim today is to finish up the story. Right. Hello, Ziyu. Hello, John. Hello, Cheryl. Hi, Shaden. Welcome. Our aim today is to finish this stream by 4 p.m. All right. So I'm going to start exactly at 3:30. Hello, Martin. 3:30 we'll start and we'll end by 4. And the objective is just to finish up on this model that we are doing based on the composition that we've been writing together in class. We've already done a draft of this in Edmodo, so this is just a bit of a review. Good afternoon, Jensis. Good to see you too. All right. So for those of you who are joining us from outside of 6A, we are doing a model composition, working on the third compo whose theme is overcoming temptation. And we've just had a class discussion, very lively one, and a free writing activity around the idea about delayed gratification and how overcoming temptation has to do with putting the pleasure off to a future time rather than immediately indulging in what we want to do, right? So that's kind of the definition we're working with. And today we are about, I would say, halfway through the model composition. Hello, Jack Sith. Welcome. Right, so I'm going to let all of you have a look at what we've written so far. Jaden Sim, welcome. Right, so we have been talking about and discussing this composition. We wanted to inject some humor into it. We didn't want it to be too serious, so we did a little bit of humor in the names that we use for our characters, and we also exaggerated some of the descriptions and some of the reactions of our characters as we were writing this story. All right, so this is where we are now. Hello, Jaden. Hello, Jia-en. Welcome to our live stream. And for those of you who've just joined us, I'm going to end the stream today at 4 p.m. sharp because I would like to catch the announcement that's going to be made by Prime Minister Mr. Lee, and also I guess all of you would want to be listening in on that too. So that's going to take place on Channel News Asia, on YouTube, and on a few other different platforms. Facebook, I believe. Our Prime Minister will also be broadcasting there. So at 4 p.m. I'm going to end this live stream because I don't want you guys to be distracted and I don't want to be distracted as well, okay? Okay, excellent. So we'll end it by 4. It's going to be a short half an hour session. We're going to finish up the story, right? For those of you who have not been with us, this is kind of where the story is right now. We were writing and talking about this character called Potty Chan and her best friend, whose name is, what's her name again? Toilet papier, right? Toilet papier, right? Play on the terms potty and toilet paper. I know, toilet humor, not very funny, but you know, it was late in the afternoon and we were trying to stay awake, right? Okay, good. Hello, Ziting, welcome. Okay, good. I think we have a fair number of people logged in and ready to go. We will begin in 5 minutes, all right? So while you're waiting for me to continue with the model and to construct all the sentences, just have a quick read through of the story we've written together up until this point. And remember, I am highlighting a few major grammatical features, namely using and substituting stronger verbs, more descriptive verbs, right? Adding to the verb descriptions using adverbs. So you'll notice that the verbs are circled in red, the adverbs are highlighted in blue, and the adjectives that are describing the nouns and are giving more details are highlighted in yellow. Cool. So these are the 3 features we've been talking about so far. The technique I've used to introduce the story is show not tell. Show not tell as well as starting in the middle, right? So there's a lot of foreshadowing and clues that give you ideas about how the character is feeling. So that's kind of show not tell, and also starting right in the thick of the action where my character is holding the object of his or her temptation, right, and just about to indulge it that's kind of starting in the middle as well. Okay, so I'm building suspense. I'm getting my reader to wonder about how the story develops to this point, and then I move to the events that lead up to this very climactic, very dramatic moment as I'm about to give in to my temptation. Okay? Right, chances. What's the word before pile? I'm not really sure. Can you tell me which line you're referring to? Ah, yes, steaming. All right, in the first line. Steaming pile. That's right, steaming. The T isn't very clear. I apologize for my handwriting. Like I said, it was late in the afternoon. Hello, Madhu. Welcome. I'm glad that you can join us. All right, the time now is 3:27. Let's wait for another 3 more minutes, and we will start in 3 minutes on the dot. Okay, great. Zilla, welcome. I'm glad you can join us. Let me just do a quick census of how many of you are on the chat right now. Participants. Okay, I'm not tracking that many participants, but I'm seeing a lot more names here than I'm seeing. Skittishly. All right, that's a good question. Skittishly means nervously, with a sense of trepidation or uncertainty. Okay, so you can say that someone is very skittish when they are acting in a very nervous and tentative and uncertain manner. Okay, so skittish is the description of someone's behavior. Skittishly, when I add an ly suffix, right, changes the word into an adverb, right? So it's describing the action, the behavior, something that the person is doing, all right? So skittishly is an adverb that describes a person behaving in a nervous, uncertain, tentative manner, all right? Easily frightened. Yes, very good. Thank you, Martin. That is on point. All right, a couple more minutes, 2 more minutes. I'm raring to go because, like all of you, I'm quite, hello Xavier, I'm quite curious as to what this 4 p.m. announcement by our Prime Minister is going to be. So for those of you who just joined us and are not aware, at 4 p.m., Prime Minister Mr. Lee is going to be addressing the nation. It's going to be live broadcast, and he's going to make some very important announcements about additional steps that the government is going to take in response to the COVID-19 situation, right? So I'll stop the stream at 4, and we can all kind of huddle off to our televisions and our iPads and whatnot to catch what PMV is going to say, all right? After French fries, dangling, right? Dangling, Jan says dangling means something is like hanging off of your fists, okay? Hanging off of your hands, your fingers. Okay, again, I apologize for my handwriting. Those of you who were present, you heard me say the words, but Jancis wasn't there, so I guess she has to really decipher my not so neat handwriting. I was free writing in the free writing mode, so I was kind of in a hurry. I apologize once again. Okay, welcome Jack Sith, welcome Megan Quack, good to see you, Cheryl. Okay, excellent. All right, okay, the time is now. We are going to begin. Let me just begin by reading through the entire story, and those of you who are with us, okay, just follow along with the story, okay? Jia En, grinning like a Cheshire cat means to smile with kind of like this idea that there's mischief or some no good on your mind, okay? Mischievous thoughts you're thinking as you smile, okay? Right, so let me go into the story proper, right? So this is under the theme of overcoming temptation. So we talked about how temptation has to be something that is pleasurable and negative in nature. You don't ever feel tempted to do the right thing, so to speak, all right? So it's a negative thing. So let's get into the composition. I dug my fingers, my trembling fingers, into the steaming pile of curly fries using all the adjective phrases. My spectacles fogging up with the steam. I ignored the pain of my scalded fingers as I gazed greedily at the fistful of golden, perfectly deep-fried French fries, a whole string of adjectives there, dangling before my gaping maw. And gaping maw means like very widely open mouth, right? Kind of like a someone about to devour something. Straining against the overwhelming urge to stuff my face, I cursed the chain of events that led me to this point of temptation. Okay? And this is the point where I move back in time to the events that led to this particular incident, right? Potty Chan! I jumped skittishly at the sound of my name reverberating through the packed auditorium as we prepared for dismissal. All right, so this is my reaction. I am Potty Chan. I am the character called Potty Chan. My best friend, Toily Papier, sprinted to my side as we trudged wearily through the throngs of chatting students. So notice my use of good verbs like sprinted and trudged instead of walked and ran. I didn't use those normal verbs. I changed them up. Wearily is an adverb. Throngs of chatting students, descriptive, show not tell, telling me that it's very crowded. Day 20, kernel sentence, very short. 20 days of torture, slightly longer sentence. The sight of another watermelon would make me vomit. Right, so this is a kind of a foreshadowing, show not tell. 20 days of watermelons for lunch, for dinner, for supper. Let's head over to my place to finish our project, Toily chirped cheerfully. So Toily breaks your chain of thoughts, your dark brooding about all of the watermelons you've eaten in the last 20 days, right? So she chirps, let's go over to my place to finish our project. I caught a sinister gleam in her eye as the corners of her lips quirked up in a barely concealed Cheshire grin. So this kind of gives me the idea that something bad is about to happen, right? It's foreshadowing. I'm giving you a hint through the sinister gleam. Sinister means like evil, right? The sinister gleam. Yes, of course, Jancis, I'll do that, right? Hello, Alison, welcome. Hi, Joseph, welcome. Charlene, welcome. It'll end at 4 o'clock sharp, I promise. Okay, Charlene? Okay, so as I was saying, right, notice that sinister gleam, barely concealed Cheshire grin, all of these are kind of like clues that tell your reader that something negative, bad, is about to happen. There's an ambush, there's a trap waiting, probably at Toily Papier's house, right? So that's what I'm setting up the reader to realize, show not tell, inference, clues, right? That something bad is about to happen, all right? Let's move on now. I'm going to change to another page and we can continue from where we left off. So please make sure you have your purple booklets with you. You have your annotations moved over to page to the next page, and we're going into paragraph 3 of this composition, all right? Let's go. Okay. Right. Once you are ready to begin writing, please type ready in the chat window, all right? Please type ready in the chat window. Wonderful. Wow, there are so many of you online now. Excellent. Okay, no worries. It's all right. We'll wait for a little longer. Just make sure that you have your books open, turn to the page. You have all of your colored pens, your highlighters, and anything that you need ready. For those of you who are annotating and writing along with me, remember a different colored pen to circle your verbs, a different colored highlighter to highlight your adverbs, a different colored highlighter again to highlight your adjectives. Okay, so we're looking at these 3 main features, and I'm using powerful verbs. I am describing these verbs with powerful adverbs, and I'm adding adjectives in order to describe the nouns, all right? Cheryl, please, let's stay focused on the lesson. Let's not be distracted by any comments, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. I think that we are all ready, so let's continue where we left off, right? So we stopped with the suspicious kind of musing of our main character, Potty Chan. She's thinking, something's not right here, right? There's the sinister gleam in her eye. There's that, barely concealed Cheshire grin. Something's going on, but she allows herself to be pulled off by Toily Papier. Oh, so next scene, we move to the next paragraph, the next scene, which is arrive at the home. So let me continue. We arrived at Toily Papier's home without incident. Breathing a sigh of relief. I prepared to let my guard down. Come on in. Toily exclaimed in saccharine sweet tone. In a saccharine sweet tone. The door with an ominous creak. All right. Welcome, John. All right, I'll give everybody a little bit of time to take down this paragraph, right? Once you are done taking this down, and it's not the end of the paragraph yet, I'll explain the words as we go along, but let's everybody just pen this down, and then I'll go through how I constructed it and the meaning of the different words, all right? So go ahead. Once you are done taking it down, can you just give me a shout out and say, done, all right? D-O-N-E, done. Once you're done taking down these lines, this is not the end of paragraph 3. I've stopped here so that you can kind of catch up and I can grab a sip of water. I've been talking a lot, right? Wow, you guys are fast. Great, good job. All right, get your pens and highlighters ready. Okay, very good. If you aren't able to catch up, it's okay. Take your time, slowly write this down. Remember that this is being recorded, and at the end of the session, I will post the link up to Edmodo, and you can always access it there along with the remainder of any annotations you weren't able to make as I was going along. Okay, so thank you all. Wonderful. Okay, let's just wait a couple more seconds. That's great. Good job, everybody. All right. So let me just go into some highlighting modes here. All right, so I'm going to highlight the adjectives. All right, so these are descriptive phrases. All right, so we can see here that there's quite a number of adjectives. And then let me go into some adverbs. All right, not really that many adverbs here. Okay, so you don't have to feel constrained to always pack every sentence with adverbs. Remember, whatever we do, we're doing to improve the reading experience of your audience, right, of your reader. So packing too many words all the time can make your text seem too congested and crowded as well. So not all the time, right? Suitable as and when you feel that it might be helpful. Then now let's go ahead and circle some verbs, all right? Arrived, okay, so instead of reached, you always say reached, right? We reached home. No, just say we arrived. I don't want to see the word reached used anymore at this level, okay? And actually, this is kind of a manner in which you arrived. You arrived without incident, so it's kind of functioning as an adverbial phrase, okay? Here, again, I have a present participle functioning here to begin the sentence because I want to vary the way in which my sentences are structured. Prepared. Okay, let my guard down is a fancy way of saying not be so defensive, relaxing a little bit. So this has the idea of relaxing. Okay, exclaimed instead of shouted or said, all right? And one of you mentioned, what is saccharine sweet tone? Now, saccharine means like fake or kind of like contrived or in an extremely way, okay? And the word saccharine or saccharine describes artificial sugar, right? The kind of sweetener that you put in when you don't want to use sugar. In the old days, it was called saccharin, okay? And saccharine describes to be sweet or to be nice, but in an artificial, contrived, or fake manner, okay? My way of building in some more foreshadowing, right? I'm telling you something that is about to happen. Okay, prepared. Yes, that's right. Prepared is also a verb. That's right. Prepared. I prepared to let my guard down. So remember I mentioned before, if you're not sure whether a word is a verb, you kind of try to change it into the past tense, right? Or see if it functions as a past tense. If a word can take a tense, then it's a verb, because only verbs can take tenses in the English language. No other class of word can take a tense, all right? Yes, okay, very good. So I take it that everybody is done. You've circled, you've highlighted, and you've indicated, right, what each of these phrases are for. Let me move on here. And let me just preface this by saying that if we can't finish by 4 p.m., don't worry. I will finish it up and I'll post it in a separate video so that you can refer to and finish it, okay? Oh, sorry. Let me just change the ink back again. Oh, yes, thank you. Well spotted. Shaden, good job. Worst nightmare, very good, because it's not comparative, it's like superlative. It's the most, it's the worst, okay? So comparative will be worst, W-O-R-S-E. Superlative, the highest level, worst, W-O-R-S-T. Well spotted, Shaden, good job. All right, I'm stopping here for paragraph 3. And over here, you find that paragraph 1 and 2 has been setting the scene and kind of foreshadowing the climax. And paragraph 3 is the climax of the temptation, right? I am now here face to face with a scene from my worst nightmare. This entire spread on the table in Toily Pepier's house of all of my favorite junk food, right? I'm going to list it. And then I'm going to end this paragraph, all right? Yes, okay. Fried chicken. Burgers. Curly fries. Right, remember my earlier part of the story where I talked about all the stuff I was holding in my hands, right? I was holding a whole fistful of curly fries. For those of you who forgot, let me just show you, right? Remember, I dug my fingers into the steaming pile of curly fries, right? So back here, I've got to remember that there's to be consistency between the earlier and the later part of my story. So it was curly fries, then it must be curly fries now, all right? Let me just stop here for a moment and give all of you a chance to finish up. If you're done writing this down, please put a done as well. Then I can start circling and highlighting the various phrases and explaining certain difficult words. All right, so when you're done, please type done. You guys are really good. Wow, again, so fast. I guess you're kind of writing along with me as I'm writing. Excellent, excellent. Good stuff, everybody. You're doing very well. So remember, this is like a Mr. Pang dictated story. I'm going through this story to show you my thought process. I'm showing you how I'm thinking about the story and building it as I go along, the kinds of words that I'm choosing and the reasons why I'm using certain techniques. I hope that you can refer back to this video and use it as kind of like a model for you to construct your own story. Please don't copy the exact story, but of course, come up with something else, all right? But you can see that I'm very deliberate in my choice of words. I'm very deliberate in the way that I structure the story so that there's this building sense of suspense, all right? What's the word before worst nightmare? A dieter's worst nightmare, right? So, dieters, all right, very good. Remember, we were saying that Potty Chan was on a diet of watermelons for 20 days. Yes, that's right. So, again, like what I'm saying, I do not agree with, nor do I support this idea of these kind of fad diets, right? These diets do not work, do not try them at home. We're writing this simply because we want to create a humorous text. Mr. Pang does not endorse dieting, especially not dieting on watermelons, okay? So let's make this clear. Good, everybody is done? Okay, chalk. Okay, I'll come to it, Megan. Hold your horses. As I go through this, I'll explain to you, okay? Right, so it was a scene from a dieter's worst nightmare. Okay, so this is a descriptive phrase. Worst nightmare is describing the scene, right? So this is an adjectival phrase. The table was chock full. Okay, so chock full is again a descriptive phrase, and chock full simply means full to almost capacity, right? There is no space left on the table for anything else. Like if you imagine a table that is so full that you can't even see the surface. It's just full of all kinds of and varieties of fast food, right? So chock full simply means full to the brim, capacity, all right? Good job, right? And all manner of unhealthy, cholesterol laden. Oops, I apologize for that. Let me just, can I undo that? Okay, never mind. Let me just highlight that. Oh, wait, let me undo. Okay, yes, I want to highlight unhealthy, cholesterol-laden foods. Okay, so I'm sorry, I should have put a little hyphen there. Cholesterol-laden foods. Okay, right. So descriptive phrase. Okay. All right. Can you guys help me to? Okay, hold on. Let me finish the adjective phrase and the adverb phrases. You can help me to spot the verbs. Okay. Long neglected desire. Oops. Once again, I did the wrong thing. Highlight long neglected desire. So this is describing the long neglected desires, a desire that I suppressed for a very long time. I hadn't paid attention to it because I was on a diet, okay, and threatened to overwhelm my newfound sense. So it's something new. I just developed this sense of self-control. So it's newfound, okay. Newfound means new, just happened, all right. And then I list fried chicken, full stop, burgers, full stop, curly fries, full stop. Again, these short sentences have a powerful effect of focusing your attention on the contents. Okay, now, please go through everything that starts from "it was a scene from my worst nightmare" all the way to curly fries, and pick up all the verbs for me, please. Pick up all the verbs for me, the good verbs that I've used, okay? Right, okay. No, support is actually not a verb. For support is actually functioning as a noun here. Okay, threaten, that's right. Remember, I told you if you change the tense, can you say for supported? Cannot, right? So it doesn't function as a verb in this case. So threaten, where is threaten? Threaten, yes, you're absolutely right. Swept, okay, yes, swept over me, very good. Gripped, excellent. I gripped the door handle for support. Okay, yes. Threatened to overwhelm, very good, because it's after the to, therefore a to verb. Indeed, you are right. Okay, excellent. Overwhelm, well spotted. I think that is about it. All right, very good. I think you've successfully spotted all of the essential verbs. And now we've come to the climax, the confrontation of my character with this temptation. And notice that I've spent quite a lot of time developing it, and that's the way it should be. Okay, very good. Chun Sian, you've summarized it for us. Gripped, swept, threatened, overwhelmed. Notice these are all very good verbs. They're not your run-of-the-mill verbs. They are thoughtfully selected verbs that give a lot of information about the action, not just the bare bones, okay? Adjectives were all highlighted in yellow, all right? Jaden, I've already highlighted the adjectives and adjectival phrases in yellow, okay? Right? If you want to, I can just highlight a few more. Curly fries, fried chicken, these are also adjectives, all right? But generally that's it. Then let's go into are there any adverbial phrases, right? I think maybe Jaden was asking about adverbs rather than adjectives, because adjectives are in yellow. No, I think we've been pretty minimally using adverbs. Yes, right, I thought so. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's move down and let's finish up this part of the story. Let's go into the solution to the problem, okay? Remember, we have the climax, which is the problem and the resolution, right? So we've got the problem now. I'm facing this, my worst enemy, my nemesis, and I have to resolve it, right? And I go back now to the top of the story where I'm holding the curly fries in my... Okay, I'm just making an effort to add in more adverbs because I realized that I've not been using... No, I don't want to use lips, right? So, to my salivating jaws, perhaps? Yeah, that would be better. This idea of chopping... Yes, aroma. That's right. Thank you. You spotted it. I apologize again for my handwriting.